Hello and welcome to Scarlet Serpent readings. Thank you so much for joining me in this pick a card reading where we will be looking at what you can look forward to. So thank you of course for all of those who are subscribed and for those just joining me today. Welcome. So I have 3 piles for you. Pile 1 is going to be this card. Hopefully I could these kind of show. I know these can be a bit difficult. But this is pile 1. I never think about this until it's too late. I'm like, oh, I probably shouldn't have chosen these cards for the selecting of the pile, but it's a bit too late. Anyway, this is pile 2. And you could always just choose the pile intuitively by number. And then we have pile 3. There we go. Pile 3. Okay. So if you need some more time, you can go ahead and pause the video and choose your pile in the description. Otherwise, I'll see you at your reading. Hi, pile 1. If you chose this card, this is going to be your reading. What can you look forward to? And don't worry, I'm not going to use these cards for the whole reading, but this card actually, these 2 cards actually represent how you could make this thing come to you sooner, and then we're going to look at what it is that you could look forward to. But these 2 cards are the Death card. This is the Death card with that imagery, and then the 5 of Pentacles. This is kind of how you can make this thing happen sooner, and it feels as though really transforming your mentality around abundance, what abundance is, not having enough, and that sort of thing. It could also be an indication of the expression of yourself with Taurus and Mercury, which can be, I mean, it can be difficult. Taurus isn't always the best at communicating and expressing themselves, and that could be something that has to do with opening up in terms of your expression, opening up in terms of what you have to say, and not being afraid of speaking up even if you don't have the finances, and not necessarily the finances, but maybe just not everything you need in a material sense. So in terms of conversation, it's kind of like you might find yourself holding back from contributing to a certain type of discussion just because you don't have the money to back up your thought, but really the thought is where the value's at. And I think once you find the value in what you have to say, then I think the pentacles will come into place, like they're there in your energy field, let's say. But that's just kind of how, again, 5 of Pentacles in the Death card, that's how you could make this happen faster. But let's see now with the tarot, what can you look forward to? Oops. I left that face down, so I'll flip them over after. I guess they all want to come face down. Oh, just as I said that. We have the 8. Okay, so we have the 8 of Wands. It is in reverse. I think I'll leave that way. But yeah, I mean, Mercury again is showing up, so this is a big thing about expression. And I think I'll just show you this card. So we have this Death card here with this being with wings, and then we have this, another winged creature. So going after what you want, really spreading your wings, that transformation is there, and really opening up to who you are despite the limitations of others, and speaking freely and openly. And it's an intense energy with Sagittarius. It's an intense... So I usually have these upright. Let's get maybe 2 more cards. But the freedom of expression is very big for you. The freedom of expression, and I think that's something that you've been wanting to open up more and more and be your true self. So that's something you could look forward to. But again, to make that happen faster, I don't know if it's redundant to say that, but it's like to get the thing you want, you have to already have it. Like, that's kind of what's it's like faking it till you make it. So just speaking up even though it feels difficult, and then over time it'll become easier. The last card that came out was the Four of Cups. What can you look forward to? I mean, it's kind of strange with this sort of questioning. And this is not in reverse. But what I could say is comfort. So maybe you feel uncomfortable, and that might be nice. You know, it's kind of like, I'm bored, so I'm just going to be at home in my garden, watch Netflix, but it's a luxury that maybe this is kind of not a word of caution, but just remember the Five of Pentacles energy that you might be in now, or you're trying to get out of, or something along those lines. But that this could actually be seen as a luxury, where you have this animal, which I don't know the name of, whoops, it's got beautiful green grass, flowers growing, a lake or a river behind it, plenty of animals. So even if the card looks like boredom, which it might be a measure of your success in a way, is like, oh, I don't know what to do, but you have everything that you need, and that's really something that you've wanted. So you could look forward to that is kind of not complacency, but the luxuries of having accomplished something. And that might be something, especially with the fire energy and Mercury specifically, where it's like, I want to do something next, like what's next, but to enjoy the success when it does come. So let's see what other cards we have. Yeah, maybe these are all in reverse. Okay, that's kind of what I figured. So remember that Eight of Wands? I'm gonna put it like this. And I kind of figured, I read it this way anyway, so. But the first two cards are the Five of Wands and the Ace of Swords. So we'll notice with this card again, notice a pattern with these birds. You could have a close connection to birds. I say that kind of often, so this might be that same sort of pile, but animals in general. Of course, this is an animal deck, but I just noticed the wings spreading as a sign of expression here. And that's really your ultimate goal, and especially with the Truth card, with the Ace of Swords, is expressing your truth fully and openly, and also channeling this truth. It's kind of like this Ace of Swords is kind of like a channeling card from the divine, so you could be channeling, or this could be something you want to do, is bring this information down in some way, in some creative way. And then we have Union with the Two of Cups. For some of you, not everyone, but it could have to do with a sort of partnership, being a little more open in your relationship, or with family, or with friends. But I think that's actually, it's a little more clear. That's where you're at now. We have the Five of Wands, which is a challenging card. You have rivalry, and then we have union, almost the opposite. So this could be like reconciling that, but you can only do that by being honest. And maybe that's, I mean, I can definitely relate to withholding information from your partner or from someone in your family. Again, like the relationship doesn't matter as much as kind of like a connection that you have where you could potentially be withholding information just to appease someone else because you don't want this to happen. But at the end of the day, your truth is more important, and it'll kind of, let's put it this way. If if you avoid this conflict in the exterior world with the other person, it'll happen within you. So this will just be in your heart, that you weren't being completely honest about the way you feel. And your sense of freedom, I think, for those in this pile, has to do with always being honest. The freedom of honesty, really. And I think that'll earn the respect of this other person, or just bring someone new, or just bring people in general who really align to who you are. And now that I'm looking at this Four of Cups, it's almost like maybe you might miss the conflict in a way. You might enjoy conflict, but it's a good place to be at. That's what peace feels like, or it can be. I don't think I need to clarify these cards, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm gonna pull an oracle, and maybe I'll just get a few more tarot decks. I'd like some new tarot decks. So we have evolution, birthing the new. Is there anything else? No. And it's interesting, this ties to the death card in a way, or it's death and rebirth. These go together, and also union. So if this isn't obviously going to be for all of you, but if a child is something you want, there is the possibility of that happening. Otherwise, this could be a project, creative opportunity. Please focus. There you go. A creative opportunity for you, especially with the swiftness card. That expression. So I guess I'll pull an extra card just for this oracle card that says birthing something new. What's this about, please? Let's get another card. It's the Nine of Swords and the Strength card. So this is interesting. And this is describing evolution. So it kind of ties back to the death card, back to the Five of Pentacles, which could kind of be seen as a card of struggle in a way, and the death card in a similar way. So your ability to overcome these obstacles is part of what I think this evolution is about, is kind of recognizing the turning wheel. And I'm already connecting, again, the Strength card to this Eight of Wands, which has that same kind of strength, that same energy of coming forth and pushing through, really. So and this kind of reminds me of a different pile from another reading, I don't remember, but this card, that it's through your anguish that you could push through and create something new. So if that's you, if this Five of Pentacles feels like you've put a lot of effort and it's not working, maybe it's time for a new approach. And when you are honest, I think with truth here, there's an honesty that comes with something that might not be working and making the appropriate adjustments. But at the end of the day, what you have to look forward to is freedom of expression, creation, a new friendship, or at least the union with yourself, and ultimately the freedom of being you unapologetically, and possibly a pretty strong transformation and the way to make that happen faster is to not be afraid of this card, not be afraid of the Five of Wands. That you have the power within yourself to be honest and be who you are, and I think that's where you'll find that strength, you'll find that freedom. So hopefully this reading was helpful. Please let me know in the comments, like and subscribe if you haven't already. I love the comments, I really do. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Take care. Hi Pile 2, if you chose this card, this is going to be your reading. What can you look forward to? And this card is the King of Swords, along with the Four of Cups. But these cards actually represent how you could make this thing come to you faster. So how you can accelerate this thing that you could potentially look forward to. And with the Four of Cups and the King of Swords, it feels like it kind of feels like Emperor energy, honestly. It's kind of accepting not just the responsibility, but the ownership that you have over not necessarily the situation you're in, but your perception of it. And as you change that, and you even if you feel bored and stagnant, you could always shift and tweak the way that you see the world and see your situation, and through that find the opening. King of Keys. So if you do feel stuck, if you do feel bored, know that you are the gatekeeper. I mean, if this thing wants to focus, I don't know. It's a really hard deck. This is a really hard deck to show in this way, and there we go. And there are a few reasons why I don't do the overhead camera, but to be honest, I just don't always want to share those sorts of things. So anyway, that's just how you could accelerate what's coming to you, is shifting your perspective and kind of playing with your perception of reality. Kind of see, there is an opening, and the opening comes from the mind, you know, even if your heart faces boredom. And at the same time, it's a recognition of duality, and with the, well, it's the Four of Cups, I'm not gonna bother, but it's kind of like, because it's a moon card, it's a passing phase, and I think also recognizing that if you do feel stuck or bored, or kind of like there's not movement, enjoy the lack of movement, because there might be a time, especially since the King of Swords is there, where things will move quickly, and you might, in retrospect, be like, oh, I wish I had just rested for this time, even if it felt like a long time, even if it was a couple of years. Maybe the next few years are just really, really quick, you know, as they say, time flies. But let's see what you could look forward to. More eights. We have the Eight of Pentacles. We have the King of Wands, the Three of Wands. This is a lot of masculine energy. I guess with the King of Swords it makes sense, but I think part of this is honing in on and accepting your masculine energy. Maybe if there was some sort of wounded perception of your own masculinity, or just if that's something that's been reflected in the exterior world, that might be something that gets healed during this time. And it's also your way, again, I guess, kind of like what the opening suggests, is that that's really your way out. And I say that because not only do you have the King of Wands, but you have the Three of Wands, which, you know, I don't, it's actually, this is tied to the Queens, but I was thinking of Kings, so I'm just gonna keep with that it's kind of, you're setting your own sail, you're deciding where to go, and I think for a lot of you in this pile, you've been waiting for a big change. And that's what the discipline card here is for too. It's kind of like you've put in a lot of work and you're just waiting, and the wait is very difficult for some of you. But what happens is that you might not notice with that Four of Cups previously is that you might not notice the own progress that you're making. And I think it's actually kind of simple. It's like as soon as you start noticing what you've already accomplished, more of it will come. But let's get 2 more cards before we clarify. The Emperor, yeah, definitely that masculine energy, the fire, and I think that's kind of showing me that this was, in this case, a masculine card. So I'll just show you the Emperor. You'll notice that all of these figures are standing on top of something. They're getting a top-down view of a situation, and that goes right back to the King of Swords that I mentioned earlier. So that's really the key, is maybe you could do in meditation a bird's eye view of what's going on in your life. And this Emperor is a very important card on a personal level for me, so I kind of get it. But it's strong Aries energy. It's like, I know what I want, and I'm gonna get it. And this is all, you know, just the gender doesn't matter here. Whatever you identify yourself to be, but the masculine and feminine energies are within all of us, and I think tapping into that masculine energy of almost. One of you, I forgot who said it. It was a comment a while ago. I said you're not demanding something, and then if you could remind me, it's not expecting either. It's not requesting, but I forgot again. Sorry, but I'm sure you'll remember, and I forgot who said it too. Oh, it's gonna bother me. Anyway, we'll just continue for now. Judgment. This is the wake-up call for you. I think a lot of this has to do with recognizing your own power, recognizing your own divinity, and it's not just like listening to this or to other YouTube videos or books or anything like that. I mean, you could kind of comprehend the concepts, but to experience them is different. Again, it's like it's like actually performing the magic as opposed to reading about magic. In other words, it's like I really have a lot more control here. I really can take my life where I want it to go, and that's entirely up to me as to when I move, and that's you saying that, of course. So I'm going to clarify these cards. Temperance, with discipline, with temperance, so that makes sense. The father of the King of Wands was clarified by the King of Pentacles, so there's this, I mean, this is really very strong masculine energy, and there's a lot of fire in this pile, and it's very grounded too, because I see the Emperor as grounded too, as not just, it's the Emperor, so it's not just fire, it's kind of fire, but it's controlled, and yeah, this is a really powerful pile. And we have the High Priestess underneath the Three of Wands. Rivalry. You might have an issue with, not issue, but there could be conflict with authority, and this, I think part of what you could look forward to is, you know, maybe there have been authoritative figures in your life, and it's because you haven't really claimed that crown of your own authority, and I think this has a lot to do with that. It's becoming your own authority in every way, you know. So we have the Temperance underneath the Eight of Pentacles. So, temperance, the balance of work and play, and also patience. You've put in work, and it's coming. And this reminds me of that as well. It's like what you want is coming, but I don't think what you don't see is your own transformation, your own power that you're stepping into and becoming. And with this Judgment card and the Tower, these feel like energies that amplify themselves. This is an incredibly powerful combination. And what's interesting is that whatever this is, it's gonna happen suddenly, but I love the Tower card. It's one of my favorite cards. So, and I think in this case, you're gonna love the Tower that's coming. Where with Judgment, it's kind of you created the lightning, you made that happen, and you've been wanting that to happen. And what's interesting too is that the Emperor is on top of this mountain, and then the mountain seems to crack in a way. I don't know if you could see that here. The Emperor, and then the cracked mountain. And then we have the Tower too, which is that lightning. So these are very connected. As if the Emperor, I forgot the word again, demands or expects or heavily suggests. I don't remember the word, but you've been asking for the lightning and it's coming. And we do have the High Priestess here. So I think this energy comes easy for you though, this High Priestess. And I think you know what's coming. You have this vision of where you want to be, and you know you're going to get there. And I think that knowing is what makes it so difficult. With the Eight of Pentacles and the Four of Cups showing up earlier, it's like, well, I know where I want to be, I know it's coming, but it's just every minute feels like a year, and it's taking an eternity. But I think once you start getting evidence of it, of this thing that you want to show up, you'll be like, but I made that happen. And I think that the way to make that happen, this thing that you're looking forward to make it come to you faster, is already recognizing that the signs are there, and it's subtle, but it's already there. And I think once you start noticing these little signs, you'll be like, oh, so it is coming, and then you get more excited. And there's just like a ripple effect that happens where you become, I like saying this a lot, I like the Juggernaut, to be honest. So it's kind of like that Juggernaut energy. It's like once the Juggernaut starts running, cannot be stopped. And you are right now feeling this energy because the momentum hasn't been built, but you have the potential. And that's interesting too, is because this card is about potential, the Three of Wands. And the Juggernaut from the X-Men, all he has to do is start moving, and the potential is there. Whether or not he's moving, the potential to become this unstoppable force is always there. So it's kind of the recognition of that. We have leadership with Answer the Call. The Eights have been strong in this reading. But this pairs nicely with everything we've seen, with the King of Swords. We have three kings here: King of Swords, the King of Wands, and the King of Pentacles. So I mean, you can make things happen, and you already have the wisdom to know, to tap into your intuition, because I think that's very natural to you. This card here with the High Priestess, and you had the Moon card with the Four of Cups. So I think it's fairly easy for you to tap into this. But what you could look forward to is combining that with your inner masculinity, with your ability to take leadership of your life. That's the leadership of your life. I think that's what you have to look forward to. So hopefully you enjoyed this reading. Please let me know in the comments, like, subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Take care. Hi, pile 3. Sorry. Hi, pile 3. And if you chose the Sun card, this is going to be your reading. What can you look forward to? And this card, along with the Moon, these represent how you can make this happen sooner, how you could kind of accelerate this movement towards something you could look forward to. And this is quite a combo, isn't it, with the Sun and the Moon. I think I'm going to just leave them there, unlike the other two piles, and get into what it is you could look forward to, and I think this will reveal itself later. I'm kind of respecting that Moon energy, where it's kind of like, I'm just not supposed to know right now, but let's continue. We have the Ace of Cups with joy. And then so far, it's kind of the joy of enjoying both sides, the Sun and Moon, where we have conflict right after joy with I think it's the Nine of it's the Nine of Wands. So celebration, Three of Cups. I'm noticing a pattern. And I'll show these to you, of course. And then 7 with power. 7 of Wands. So it's showing up already. Wands and Cups energy, the Sun and Moon. So fire and water. And it's the alchemy of your inner world and outer world are showing up. And it's finding the value in conflict. And of course, enjoying the celebration, enjoying the sunny side of life, but also accepting the shadows when they do come, because the shadows are a consequence of light. So it's kind of like, well, if a shadow exists, you know there's light. That's how shadow becomes. Because if it was all dark, then you wouldn't notice the lack of light anyway. Like, like in the vacuum of space, if there wasn't a star, then it wouldn't seem that bad if you didn't know light existed. So maybe it's also kind of recognizing when you're in those bad times, it's kind of a reminder that good times are possible, and there's just that balance there. But let me show you the cards real quick. Joy. This is what you could look forward to. Conflict. I think in this case it's finding the value in conflict, and I'll show you why later. Celebration, and then power. I think this power has to do with your own personal power, and we'll see this power comes from two beings that are charging. They're creating this power, this charge through conflict. So I think maybe you're recognizing your power through conflict with others, which if you were drawn to another pile, you might want to check that one out. But otherwise, this has a lot to do with other people, though. How you interact with others and what side of yourself you choose to show. And so this could also have to do with really honing in on your shape-shifting abilities, because each of these cards has multiple figures. There's these two, there's these two, and it's kind of interesting how these characters interact with one another. There's these two, or these three, and there's these two, and yeah, it's like, when are you more passive and easygoing with the joy card, with the water, the moon, the receptive energy, being receptive of others and their love, and then sometimes there's just difficult people. And it's not to say everyone who's difficult deserves kind of your bad and your shadow or anything like that, but it's also defending your ground and knowing when, hey, I'm not going to allow you to overstep the boundaries that I've set. And not only that, but understanding that you have, sorry, I'm just checking the computer, but realizing that you have the support of your ancestor spirit behind you when you're being honest, and you could use that power in a responsible way. We have the moon card under joy, so there's that moon energy that I already mentioned a couple times. It's a very strong connection to the moon and your own cycles, and this pile feels a lot like cycles of the moon shows its full face, and then it goes away, and it shows its face, and then there's fire and water. So I think this pile has to do with an awareness. We have 10 of Pentacles with conflict. The 4 of Wands. And the Death card. And I might pull some extra cards, but I'll just show you the moon real quick. The moon, 10 of Pentacles, 4 of Wands, and the Death card. And so this pile could be wanting to start a family or be a part of a community, with the 3 of Cups showing up and the 4 of Wands underneath it is strong Venus and Mercury energy, and they go well together in this case with the clear skies. And the Death card underneath the power is kind of the end of this struggle. So this could have to do with a long battle you've had with a certain person or a certain group of people, or just in general. And this could kind of signal the ending of that, of depending on what part of this wheel that's spinning, that's turning, it's kind of like, you know that you deserve peace and that it is coming, and a family and friends and like-minded people. I want to do a couple more cards. I said that so I said I want a couple more cards, and then they just went, just kind of fell. So let's see what this card, the Father of Feathers. So this showed up in a previous reading. What's this about? What's this Father of Feathers about? The Death card showed up too. So this, yeah, Death. So this is lots of transformation here. Then we have the Fool. I think with the Death card too, it's a new phase of your life that you have to look forward to. A new phase where you could approach these ups and downs in a different mindset. That's kind of the Fool energy after they've already gone through the whole tarot journey as well. It's a little easier to navigate the highs and lows of life, the ups and downs, by remaining centered within the self. And I think maybe this 10 of Pentacles has to do with that. The 10 of Pentacles not necessarily being... it is... Excuse me. With the 3 of Wands, 4 of Wands, 3 of Cups, 4 of Wands, and the 10 of Pentacles, it could have to do with starting a family and having a sense of home. But this could also be, because it's a general reading, having that sense of home within yourself, regardless of what's happening on the outside. And that goes with conflict too, is that you could still feel safe with who you are, and kind of recognizing your own internal power of sun and moon. And I think that would be how you make this happen a little faster, is recognizing the power of your inner sun and the power of your inner moon, and using them wisely and at their appropriate times, but knowing that ultimately you're in control of your destiny. not the situations that happen, but you, every aspect of you, your mind, your emotional intelligence, that's all under your control, and you could move freely knowing that that's all you really have to worry about is you. And that's also how you could attract it's like the right people into your life and let go of who's not aligned with that. You could do both of those easily because you have that home, you have that security within yourself. Go. There we go. Okay, so let's get, let me do an oracle card. I might get some more tarot. New dawn. Okay, so yeah, that makes sense. The new phase of your life that's coming with the death card, with the Fool, and now with New Dawn. It's a new phase of your life, and it's just like I said. I think you know this is coming, because you understand the cycles of life. You understand the yin and yang within yourself. So this is a very, I want to say, like, old soul, extremely wise pile when it comes to understanding the rules of the universe and their place, your place in the world. So it just feels like opportunities are going to open up for you, and freedom is going to open up for you too. And it's kind of like a new journey, a new fool's journey, but this time you already know the stages. You won't be afraid of any particular point in this journey, especially with the moon showing up twice. It's like, I know when I don't know, and when I don't know, I know. That'll make sense to some of you. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this reading. I think you have a lot of fun things to look forward to, especially friendships, and but most importantly, the friendship that you have with yourself. So let me know in the comments what you think. Like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Take care.